Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome. Do you honestly think the world is going to start recovering by 2021? If so, I want to know your reasons. And if your reasons are based off of assumptions rather than facts, then I don't see any relevant argument because around here, we look at what's actually going to happen instead of what could or might happen. You can live in la la land all you want. You can pretend everything will be fine or sweep it under the rug, but that's not going to change the inevitable outcome. We got to acknowledge, prepare, and take action before it's too late. You're in for a great video today, folks, so stick around, grab some popcorn, and enjoy. I think it's safe to say that people stack silver for all sorts of different reasons. Some use it as a hedge against inflation. Some just like coin collecting as a hobby. Some people want to prepare barter since precious metals have been used for 5,000 years or more, and it's always been a form of monetary exchange, right? So there's so many different reasons. I actually want to pass the question on to you. Why did you start investing in the precious metals? Was it more from a monetary standpoint since you understood, the rate of the dollar? Why? Me, it was a little different of a situation. I've been stacking silver since a kid. I mean, I used to go metal detecting with my grandpa, and I started a small coin collection growing up. I didn't understand the value of silver as the metal content. It was more just liking what the coins looked like. It wasn't until I got into my 20s, early 20s, when I really started to see the potential that silver had. I saw my family living paycheck to paycheck. I wanted to start investing, and silver definitely caught my eye first. I never really trusted banks or governments, as it was. So silver just made the most sense. It is very easy to get distracted though and start stacking for the wrong reasons. That's why I always say try to get back to the basics. Now, this video is going to have one type of silver, the primary focus, and that silver is junk silver, constitutional silver, 90% silver. Now, there is so many reasons why junk silver, that we'll call in this video, is definitely not junk though, but there's so many reasons why junk silver has advantages that a lot of people look over or might not even know. So this whole video is gonna be surrounded around the beauty of constitutional silver, why you should invest into it, different advantages, unique advantages it has above other types of silver, where you could buy it, how you can stack it, so on and so forth, but also how it incorporates into your strategy. Because maybe you're not investing from an SHTF apocalyptic mind state, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't stack it. It doesn't mean you shouldn't invest it. So I found an article that does cover mostly, 90% silver from this SHTF scenario, and also what you can do about it. So it's a great video, links in the description. Let's jump into it. So how much gold and silver should a prepper have? That's a great question. I mean, think about it. If you are looking at things from a prepper mind state, you got to be minimal. You got to be very, very smart with every decision, because if you're looking at this from a life or death situation, you really got to be smart about every decision you make. So it's going to be interesting. And if you are coming from a prepper's mind state, if you are looking at silver from that way, what's your purpose? What is your goal? Do you stack anything besides junk silver, or what types of bullion and why? We'll definitely go into what other types of bullion could bring to the table, some of the advantages. For example, American Eagles are a worldly renowned, recognizable coin. I could take an American Eagle to China, to Africa, and they will know that that coin has value in it. You cannot do that with any other coin around the world. And when you're in a bartering situation, the last thing you want is for someone to not trust that it's silver. Only silver stackers are going to understand, what like a Volcambi bar or, some type of Sunshine Mint coin is. So a lot of people that don't stack, like from a prepper's mind state that's trying to just barter, if they don't if they see some generic round and they've never heard of that company, they might think it's fake or not, not trusted as much as a government-backed coin that they recognize like an American Eagle. That's just one of the many examples that we're going to go into. So anyways, let's jump into this article. There are a few common misconceptions associated with precious metals and how they may not be helpful to preparedness plan for either a SHTF scenario or potential economic collapse. If I can't eat it, drink it, or use it to defend myself, I don't need it. I'll just get stuck buying some worthless coins and never get anything out of them. And although these are some generally popular perspectives, they're completely misguided and incorrect. So how can precious metals be useful for survivalists when the economy collapses? The truth is, precious metals are essential for survivalists and will help you stay prepared for all sorts of upcoming turmoil. And now more than ever, we got to be looking at the reality of this, or how close this is to happening. Even if there wasn't a global pandemic that started in the beginning of the year, I would still be making this type of video. I mean, go back on my channel a couple years ago and look how many videos I talked about titled like junk silver versus SHTF or all those types of videos. I was talking about this for years because this was inevitable to come. The pandemic kind of just caught us all off guard and came a lot sooner than people expected. So below you'll find rebuttals from the common misconceptions about gold and silver and how they can literally save your life when SHTF happens. If I can't eat it, drink it, or use it to defend myself, I don't need it. And that is something I hear a lot. I hear this so much when people talk about silver from a apocalyptic standpoint. So precious metals have been used as a stable store of value and a medium of exchange for thousands of years. Although you cannot actually eat it, drink it, or use it to defend yourself, you can use it in barter or trade to get any potential needed items. I mean, think about it. Not only does silver purify water, but you're going to need some type of medium of exchange. And in the past, during not situations exactly like we're going to be going through or would be going through, potentially, it still has always been a medium of exchange. For example, if you are trying to trade with a neighbor for ammunition and you only have food, water, ammunition, and first aid, chances are he or she has those exact same items also. So you need to pay with something that can be used as a medium of exchange so that your neighbor can buy whatever she may need for someone else. And that's so true. If everyone has similar types of items, then there has to be a way for us to exchange when both people don't need what the other has, but could be essential for someone else, right? It's like networking almost from almost like it's like the dollar today, but something that has real value. And also, before we go on, I really want to get this point across before we keep going on, because this is one of the most important things that goes along with SHTF and silver. If you are someone who thinks this is going to happen, you should not be stacking any silver, buying any silver that is worth or that has a weight more than an ounce. And I say that for this reason. If silver does go this route, then it's going to be extremely valuable. So one, if you have a 20-ounce bar, you're not going to be able to exchange that for like who's going to have something that's worth 20 ounces? And the chance of someone trading something for 20 ounces of silver is highly unlikely, and it will be very minimal. Especially when you're in this type of situation, you got to be practical. So a 20-ounce bar, what are you going to do if you need something that's only, worth an ounce or two, but you only have a 20-ounce bar? What are you going to do? Take a chainsaw to it and cut off a little piece? And that's not practical. So if you are stacking strictly for this type of reason, you have to be using 1 ounces or less, but also fractional. I mean, think about it. What if you only have 1 ounce coins and you're trying to trade for something that's only worth, maybe like a 10th ounce or quarter ounce? That's where junk silver comes into play. That's why it's so beneficial, because even during this time, this period in time, an ounce will be worth a lot. So a lot of times, just like we use change today, if you want to buy some gum that's not worth $1, you bust out a couple quarters. Same thing's going to be during these types of situations. But generic fractional rounds, they're expensive. They're very expensive. because they still have to stamp the round and make it, so there has to be a premium attached. Junk silver, though, it's fractionals, right? A mercury dime is the same as a 1/10 ounce round. But not only that, it's a government backed, so it's definitely more trusted, recognizable, and they don't make junk silver anymore. So they're going to grow in premiums, almost like Morgan's, right? The last junk silver, or the last constitutional coin, was made 1964. So think about it. Morgans were stopped being minted in 1921. So there's a little bit of a gap in between that. So in 40, 50 years from now, even if this doesn't happen, all junk silver coins, mercury dimes, walking liberties, they're going to become more rare and rare because they're getting lost in circulation, melted down, and there's almost going to be like a premium to them. It's almost going to be like a semi-numismatic coin. So if you look at it that way, it definitely has unique advantages beyond only just an SHTF type of motive. So number two, I'll just get stuck buying some worthless coins and never get anything out of them. Well, first of all, these coins aren't worthless, so that's the first thing that's kind of out there. So I say this to this prospective precious metal buyers. It seems like 1,000 times a day. Stay away from collectible coins. Don't do it. So this is going to be interesting. See what he says. Collectible coins or numismatic coins are like art. Their value is largely subjective. Some people might pay millions of dollars for the Mona Lisa. Personally, I wouldn't pay $20 for it. Don't put yourself in a hard spot. Try to get a buyer who will pay as much as you did to get some mint special coin. The liquidity just isn't there when compared to gold and silver bullion coins and bars and rounds that are traded at their melt value. So buy bullion. Very, very key point. And you can already see this happening. Go to your local coin shop right now, or today, or tomorrow. Go to your local coin shop. Give them like a 1995 Panda, right? A coin that's worth hundreds of dollars. Or even you can do like a 2020 Panda, 2019 Panda, which is worth probably around 30 something dollars. Give him that coin and ask how much he'll pay for it. He's going to look up what spot price is right now, and he's going to say, I'm going to give you spot price, or maybe a little over. And you're going to say, why? This coin is worth way more than spot price. I just went on AppMex and bought it for $35. Why are you going to give me $26 for it? He's going to say, I'm not buying that coin because how cool it looks or if the design changes every year. I'm buying the 1 ounce of silver that's inside of that coin, not how fancy it is. And that's what it's going to be like when this happens. So if you are stacking, or if you don't think the world's going to survive another 20 years for those types of investments to really gain value, then there's no point to be buying them. You should be only buying silver or bullion as close to spot as possible. And that's why you'll see a lot of preppers, they only stack eagles and junk silver. Because why pay more money for a coin if in a couple of years from now will all be worth the same value as 1 ounce of silver, right? Because regardless of how valuable that coin will be, if this ever did go through, 1 ounce of silver is always going to be 1 ounce of silver, regardless of its collectability value. So buy bullion. Bullion is the term that is used when trying to buy precious metals closest to spot. And this is the thing you got to ask yourself. Do you think the world's going to survive another 10, 15, 20 years or still be in this type of day and age that it is today? And if you think that it will, then yes, pandas are a great buy, because by then the pandas that you're paying, $30 for will probably be worth around $100, $150, $200. So it's a great investment, but if things go south, then you will not be getting $200 profit per coin, but you'll actually be getting the 1 ounce of silver just as an American Eagle, which you can get for cheaper. So it really does depend on how you view things, how you think the world will go. So ask your buyer, if they don't have it listed, how much over spot are you going to pay per ounce? The price of gold and silver is fully transparent and can be determined around the clock around the world. Getting the lowest price per ounce is generally the smartest choice. And I say this to everyone, especially beginners. Buy as much silver as you can for as cheap as possible. So this is a good point too. After the 2008 real estate fiasco. The economy was trash. 2011, however, silver jumped to $40 an ounce, even though the rest of the country had economy were still trying to pull themselves out of the grave. It actually jumped around 50. So precious metals are not only a good option for survivalist perspective, but they also help to hedge against inflation and perform well in periods of economic turmoil. And that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning of the video. People stack for several different types of reasons, and that's because silver is so beneficial, right? Silver has intrinsic value. Regardless of who says that 1 ounce coin is worth what, that's not the point. That's irrelevant, because the real value of the coin is the spot price, or is the metal value, or the metal inside of it, not the spot price attached to it. So in barter or trade situations, it's important to remember that having different sizes and metals is always smart. And that's what I kind of already explained this part. Silver rounds, especially the smaller fractional bullion sizes, are an attractive option. And consider getting gold for some larger cost barter situations too. Fractional coins are small but carry a large amount of value compared to silver. And this is something you got to remember. Silver is more affordable. And in those situations, you got your stack has to be liquid. It's all about liquidity. All about liquidity. And if you have a whole bunch of very heavy bars and gold that's expensive, it's going to be a lot harder to find someone who's willing to trade for what you want. And that can be the difference between life and death, right? If you're trying to get something that you really need and you can't, or you don't have something to trade for that equal value, that could definitely be the difference between you surviving or not. So best silver coins for survival. Should I buy 90% silver US coins? I like something I can use if I need to buy food or other necessities when store owners won't accept dollars. A friend recommended I get a bag of these coins, but the premiums are a lot higher than some of the other choices. Answer is, we too have often recommended pre-1965 silver coins. They are an official government issued coinage, and just about anyone would be confident in their authenticity and value. And that's what I was saying. Along with their small size, makes them a great option for people who want something to barter and trade. So we would still be hardly endorsing them if they weren't still low premium. Oftentimes in the past, these were the best silver coins to buy at low price. Investors could buy them at or near their melt value. However, junk silver coins have become less of a bargain since silver prices have begun falling in 2011. All these available inventory in the market must come from investors willing to sell existing stocks, right? Because they don't make them anymore, right? Most folks aren't willing to part with their stash as prices dip lower. There's plenty of bidding for what little does come to the market. So you should already start investing, right? Start investing for junk silver. Like my local coin shop, I go there, he sets aside Walking Liberty $50 for me because he knows that I buy them. A lot of times they go out of stock pretty fast, so if you build relationships, friendships with your local coin shop, sometimes they'll set stuff aside for you. You can pick their brain and you can get deals. So these days, there is just no way around paying higher premiums for gold and silver products best suited for bartering. It makes sense to prepare for a currency crisis. So getting a small portion of your holding in a small sized coins or rounds may be worth a few extra dollars. We simply suggest investors concentrate on the bulk of their buying in lower premium products, 1 ounces and larger. So I definitely, and this is a great point as well, with our government racking up national debt over 19 trillion, and now it's 27 trillion since this article, it's time to start preparing for our currency to be obsolete in SHTF scenarios. Remember, you won't always know what people may need in a barter or trade situation. That's why having a form of currency is essential. And nowadays, think about it. Nowadays, $27 trillion, which is a lot higher. Trillions of dollars stimulus about to be added, a global pandemic, and the elites are already trying to find make a new form of currency that's going to replace the U.S. dollar. That's already happening. Already. So if you can watch this video and tell me that silver is not a must-have, that you're safer investing in the stocks or something that you can't hold, even Bitcoin. Because imagine, Bitcoin is going to definitely skyrocket with silver over the next couple of years. But what if there's a power outage? What if there is no power, or something happens, the grid is, people go off the grid, or the grid gets shut down? You could have billions of dollars in Bitcoin, but if that happens, then you are broke. You don't have a single dollar to your name. You have nothing to trade with. So you got to be prepared for all scenarios. And precious metals is perfect. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. That's a saying of the stackers. So anyways, let me know what you think about all this. Are you a prepper? Are you a survivalist? Are you stacking for those reasons? And if you're not, what do you think about this? And if you are, also tell me what you think about this. A very controversial topic, because it really does, it all goes off of where you think the world is going to be over the next, couple decades. Do you think that things are going to literally fall apart and we're going to go into an apocalyptic situation? Or do you think the world is going to get through this, going to recover, and, and things will be better again? What do you think? What's the reality, and how are you stacking compared to that? So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. I post daily videos. I'm never going to talk about stuff you don't need to know. Every video has a very important meaning, and it's critical to know this stuff as an investor. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.